The desert wind moved like a whisper over the training grounds, carrying dust across the cracked concrete and rusted steel targets. The sun was barely up, but the recruits were already lined up in formation, boots planted stiff, shoulders square, eyes forward. Some looked confident, some looked terrified, and some looked bored, like they had something to prove. Among them stood a rookie most of the others barely noticed, slim frame, quiet posture, face calm under the brim of a regulation cap. Her uniform looked no different from the others, but the way she held herself, steady, alert, calculating, hinted at something deeper. Her name patch read Avery Cole, though nobody cared enough to read it twice. "Look at this," one of the men muttered, elbowing his friend. "Another rookie who thinks they're elite already." Another snorted, "She'll wash out by week 2. The comments grew louder as drills began. When the obstacle course started, they watched her closely, not with respect, but with amusement, waiting for failure. They whispered jokes, exchanged glances, betting on when she'd fall. But she didn't fall. She moved efficiently, never rushing, never hesitating. Rope climbs, wall vaults, crawling under barbed wire, each step measured and precise. She wasn't flashy, she wasn't loud, she just completed everything as if she'd done it before, and that made them uncomfortable. During weapons handling, one of the loudest recruits, Mason, leaned back with a smirk. "You sure you know which end of that rifle points forward?" Laughter followed. Avery didn't respond. She just checked the chamber, adjusted her stance, and fired. Her shots landed tight, grouping near center. Not perfect, but disciplined. Consistent. Mason scoffed anyway. Beginner's luck. Days turned into weeks. The teasing didn't stop, it sharpened. Every mistake she made, no matter how small, was amplified. Every success was dismissed. They called her Ghost, mockingly, because she barely spoke. But the nickname stuck for reasons they didn't yet understand. When deployment orders came, tension spread across the unit. This wasn't training anymore. This was a real operation, unstable territory, hostile presence, limited intel. The rookies would be attached to experienced teams, observed closely. Mason leaned toward Avery before boarding. "Out there, rookie, nobody carries dead weight." She met his gaze briefly, unreadable. Then she boarded without answering. The mission began under a moonless sky. Their objective was reconnaissance near an abandoned compound believed to house hostile fighters. Movement was cautious, communication minimal. Night vision painted the world green and grainy. Everything seemed controlled, until it wasn't. The first ambush hit fast. Gunfire erupted from unseen angles. Chaos followed. Orders barked through comms overlapped with shouting and static. Several team members scrambled for cover. Mason's confidence shattered instantly as rounds struck near him. Contact. Left flank. But left flank was collapsing. In the confusion, Avery disappeared. Nobody noticed at first. They were too busy surviving. Pinned behind broken concrete, Mason muttered angrily, fear slipping into his voice. "Great. Rookie's gone." Someone else replied bitterly, "Told you." Dead weight. The firefight intensified. Enemies moved unpredictably, forcing the team into defensive positions. Their visibility was limited, their advantage slipping. Then, a shot rang out. Not theirs. Precise. Distant. An enemy dropped. Another shot followed seconds later. Another target down. The pattern continued, controlled, surgical eliminations from somewhere beyond their sightlines. Hostiles faltered, confused by the unseen threat picking them off one by one. Over comms, a voice finally spoke, calm and unmistakable. Targets suppressed. Move now. It was Avery. She'd repositioned herself to elevated terrain during the initial chaos, spotting angles others couldn't reach. Her rifle worked like an extension of her breathing. Every shot calculated, every movement invisible. The team advanced, regaining ground. By dawn, the compound fell silent. Extraction arrived with dust swirling around the landing zone. Exhausted soldiers boarded in stunned quiet. No one joked now, no one mocked. Mason finally spoke as Avery stepped inside. "You left." She shrugged lightly. "I relocated." He stared, searching for words that didn't come. The nickname, Ghost, stopped being a joke that day. It became recognition. But the story wasn't over. Because enemies remember humiliation, and revenge travels fast. And somewhere beyond their borders, eyes were already tracking the sniper who hunted without being seen. Weeks passed after that mission, but silence never truly returned. Reports filtered in, scattered insurgent movements, intercepted communications referencing a phantom shooter. Command dismissed most of it as exaggeration, battlefield myths born from panic. But those who had been there knew better. Back on rotation, Avery remained the same, quiet, composed, distant. The respect she'd earned came without ceremony. No applause, no speeches, just space where mockery used to be. Mason approached her one evening, awkward and sincere. "Listen, about before." She shook her head gently. "Doesn't matter." And maybe it didn't, because the next call came sooner than expected. A high-risk extraction mission. Intelligence suggested hostiles were regrouping near mountainous terrain, tight valleys, poor visibility, unpredictable engagement zones. Sniper overwatch would be critical. Avery was assigned immediately. The insertion happened under freezing darkness. Wind cut through fabric, biting skin. Her vantage point overlooked the valley below where her team advanced cautiously. Through her scope, the world narrowed to heartbeat and breath. Minutes passed uneventfully. Then movement. Multiple hostiles converging silently, flanking positions designed to trap the advancing unit. They hadn't seen them yet. She keyed comms. Contact inbound. Hold. Her trigger squeezed. One hostile fell before he realized he'd been seen. Another turned. Too late. The rest scattered, searching desperately for her position. But ghosts leave no footprints. Shots echoed from shifting angles as she repositioned fluidly, never lingering long enough to reveal herself. Her presence became psychological warfare, fear spreading faster than bullets. Below, her team maneuvered safely thanks to her cover. By dawn, resistance collapsed. On return, the atmosphere changed completely. Laughter returned, but different now. Inclusive, respectful. Mason clapped her shoulder lightly. "Glad you're on our side." For the first time, she allowed a faint smile. Years later, stories circulated among recruits about the unseen sniper who protected her team like a shadow, never seeking credit, never claiming glory. Some exaggerated, some romanticized, but the truth was simpler. She was proof that silence could carry strength, and patience could outmatch arrogance. And somewhere, a new generation of rookies trained, hearing whispers of the ghost who turned mockery into respect.